So, guys, I'm gonna go full pessimist mode here. Maybe I'm being a pessimist, maybe I'm being a realist, but I still think this is worth talking about, and this is something that I've been thinking about a lot. So, I truly think the coming few years will be the darkest in human history. I think full surveillance is coming, full control is coming, with digital IDs, CBDCs, everything is going to be trackable, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. You're going to be fully controlled, and the way they're going to do it is through advanced AI coupled with advanced robotics. So, robotics is already advancing at a very rapid rate, as well as AI, as you know, right? The last 2 years in AI advancement have been historical, insane, right? Imagine the next 2 to 5 years. Couple that with advanced robotics. There's not going to be any more resisting. There's not going to be any more revolutions, civil wars, protesting, or anything like that. There's nothing you're going to be able to do to resist the machines. Literally. We're going to live through the real Matrix movie soon. Like advanced, strong machines that are 1,000 times smarter than you, if not more. They are way smarter, they're going to be way stronger, way more physically capable, and there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it. Full control is coming. Absolute and utter full control. And there is nothing we're going to be able to do about it. These final few years are the final years where we can actually resist and revolt and do something. But even then, what can we do? They're so far into their grand plan. These elites, the people in charge, the puppet masters, they're so far into everything. What is it that we can do? Even today, I don't believe there's much we can do. Literally. And the reason the reason we have things like feminism, the reason we have all of these things that create division is because a divided society, a divided humanity, is a humanity that will never recognize the true enemy. Because if they turn men against women and women against men, as they have with feminism, then we're not going to be united. It's going to be men versus women. The same way they've been doing with Muslims against Christians. The same way with blacks against whites. They turn us against each other so we can't unite and stand up against the true enemy, which are the Jews, let's be real. Um, so by dividing us, we won't recognize the true enemy. We will never be able to revolt because we're already divided and we've already turned against each other. This buys them time to do everything they need to do behind the scenes, to advance AI, to get it to a point of being so advanced that it replaces all of us and it surveils all of us and it controls all of us. So complete and utter slavery. And I've also been thinking about this one thing. Why is AI free and accessible to the general public? Why can everyone all over the world with an internet connection access ChatGPT and have access to such a powerful technology? Why? Well, because in order for them to advance AI to the point that they want to, they need data. They need data, and they can't collect that data on their own. They need to understand what human beings are using AI for, what they need AI to solve their problems for, so they can replace human beings, essentially. So they have a pattern and statistics of what it is that human beings are using AI for, and they can focus on these areas and these patterns and replace humankind and replace our thinking ability and everything that we can do these days that AI is going to be able to replace us for, right? That's why we have AI accessible to everyone. It's not a coincidence. Like, they're not just doing it out of the good of their heart. We are the test subjects, right? They're testing it through us. They're gathering data through us. This is what they're doing. So they can build these advanced machines to replace us. That's why we have access to it. And the other thing that they're trying to do, um, like outside of just turning everyone against each other and causing division, is decrease the population. Because a decreased population is a population that is easier to control. Because think about it, since the 20th century, the human population have increased like 7, 8x. I think at the beginning of the 20th century, we were like 1 billion human beings globally. Now we're 8 billion. So that's an 8-time increase, an 8x increase. That is insane. They don't want that. That is far too much. People have been reproducing far too much. So what have they done? Well, they've introduced feminism. Okay? So turning men against women. Now women should be working. Focus less on having families. And also, let's remove the gold standard. So money isn't backed by anything. So we can print as much as possible, cause infinite inflation, so everything is more expensive. So now the men and both the men and women have to work to be able to sustain themselves. This is going to create less of a focus on having families, and it's not even going to be doable for a lot of families to have families, a lot of people to have families, right? Because it's going to be too expensive. So that's one way of doing it, but also through the COVID vaccine. Millions have died due to the COVID vaccine, and millions have also gone infertile, so they can't even have children. So they need a divided population and they also need a decreased population. Couple that with advanced AI and robotics, and we're going to be fully replaced. And there is nothing we can do about it. And this is where we're headed to. This is part of the grand plan. And of course, I don't have any proof of any of this, but this is just common sense. Just going back 100 years and seeing what has happened ever since then just gives you a clear idea of what is trying to be achieved by the people in charge, by the fucking Jews, by everyone that is at the top, the puppet masters. Like it's not really that difficult to grasp. If you put one and one together, you'll be able to realize and understand what's going on. So a divided and decreased population coupled with advanced AI and advanced robotics, we're fucked. We are completely fucked. No more revolting, no more revolutions, no civil wars, no protesting, nothing. None of that shit. Okay? And they give us this illusion that we still have free will through democracy, right? They give us a few parties to vote between, but all these parties are owned by the same people. They're all financed and owned by the same people. And they give us this illusion that we have free will, our vote matters, that there's democracy. None of that shit matters. None of that shit is fucking real. It's all a scam, right? It's just a way to keep us distracted, a way to keep us, our heads in the sand, our heads up our asses, to not understand what's going on. But it's really easy to understand what's going on if you try to read between the lines. So, yeah. Again, maybe I'm being overly pessimistic. Maybe none of this shit is going to happen. But I like to think that I'm being realistic. Because, yeah. I mean, just bringing it back to the point of AI being free for everyone. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why do we have access to such advanced technology? It doesn't make sense. You need AI, you need data through the prompts that people are using all over the world 100,000 times per day, even millions of times per day globally, to be able to build advanced technology and even keep building this truly impressive technology that is AI. You need that. If they don't have test subjects to test these machines out, to test this technology out, to give them data, how are they gonna acquire this data? How are they gonna be able to develop them and make them even better? It's not going to be possible. So, yeah. And of course, the UK has introduced digital IDs. I think digital IDs have even been a thing in Vietnam. And yeah, it's going to go global. They're testing it out, they're doing it slowly but surely. Because the last few decades and the last few centuries, they've been able to push new societal changes slowly but surely, because if they do everything at once, it's just going to cause a revolution. It's just going to cause revolts, and yeah, people are just going to overthrow the governments. And they've seen that happening during medieval times and times before that, where if they push it too hard with their population, it's not going to last, right? They're going to be overthrown, and you're going to have a new government, a new people in charge. They can't have that. So they have to push things slowly. But when AI is so advanced, when robotics are so advanced to the point where they're 1,000 times more physically capable than us, and AI is 1,000 times smarter than us, there's nothing we're going to be able to do. They're just going to be able to push anything they want full force, and there's nothing we're going to be able to do. So, no more slowly but surely implementing new changes into society and the human species. They're going to be able to go full force, and we're going to be fucked. So, that's where we're headed. So, how do you combat this? How do you actually resist this and stand against it? I think the best chance you got is just making a fuck ton of money, just creating as much resources as you can to separate yourself from being enslaved and dependent on the system. I think that is probably the only way, having resources and having a network. Having a network of like-minded people who also want to resist what's going on in the world. So having a network and having resources, I think I think personally that's the only way. Now, how do you create resources in today's day and age? It's going to get harder and harder because everything is going to be replaced and done by AI. So, one path is doing it with AI, learning AI, and using AI to make as much money as possible the coming few years. But in a few years' time, AI is going to be so advanced that even your skills are not going to be enough. Because think about it, the people building these machines, building these LLMs, are decades ahead of you. Decades ahead of you. They have a million times more knowledge than you have in any of these areas. So even if you go all in on AI right now and become really good at it and you can use it to make a lot of money, even in a few years' time, I don't know if that's going to be enough. Because even that's going to be replaced. Right? So right now, the coming few years, the best thing you can do is just use these beginning stages, these starting stages of AI to make as much money as possible, to become as rich as possible. And also, personal branding is probably the only thing, the final thing that's going to last above everything else. Because with a personal brand, it's the one thing that cannot be replaced by AI. It's going to come to a point where we're going to have fully realistic AI influencers. So it's probably going to be replaced at some point. I think everything is going to be replaced with AI robotics. But learning AI right now and building a personal brand is the best chance you've got. Because in 5 to 10 years' time, I don't even know if that's going to be possible anymore. You're using a personal brand and doing, learning AI and building AI systems and AI agencies and all that, because none of that's gonna matter. So that's why where I think we're headed. That's kind of why I wanted to talk about this. And again, I may be overly pessimistic, but honestly, I just think I'm being realistic. But I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. I know I've been rambling for, I don't know how long it's been. It's probably been like 10 minutes. But yeah, scary times ahead, and the only way to prepare is to make as much money as possible. Use AI to make money because it's going to be the one thing that's going to replace you, and build a personal brand, which is what I'm doing with this YouTube channel. I'm just trying to post a couple of times a week, build a connection with people all over the world, and trying to build something. I don't really know what I'm doing with this personal brand. I'm just ranting and I'm just speaking my mind and trying to be as authentic as possible. But I think this is the only shot you have to really separate yourself from the injustice and the control that is coming. Build resources and build a network, and that's about it. So yeah, guys, I'm done ranting. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Cheers.